mission is called Air Overkill of all things. Jeez, no, we don't talk about it. What is it, Jay? Actually, don't bring it up. But thanks for the 11-month resub. I hope you keep enjoying the ops as well. Hope you get a kick out of this PvP operation, and I hope you get a kick out of this. So,
Arco, I believe this one is one of yours.
I am going to jump down to casting couch early because I can explain what this is. GREENFOR can start at any part of this area. They're not allowed to leave this box till intermission ends. BLUFOR has 3 terminals to defend. It's going to be a wave defense because these two stay inactive. So, BLUFOR have to defend this one first. GREENFOR cannot come around and take Terminal 3 before Terminal 1 and 2 are taken, because once Terminal 1's taken, then Terminal 2 will be active, and then Terminal 3 will be active. The Terminals hacks, it's very simple. They just have to interact with the terminal asset from Arma 3. I'll go ahead and scroll in and show you guys as I scroll down, because, you know, even when I'm holding down Z and scrolling in, it's a bit of a pain in the butt. And I'll go ahead and hit P so we can see tracers, but, you know, it's a simple terminal asset. What happens after they hack it is 15 seconds go by with an alarm, and then a GBU spawns, this despawns, and it blows up. In that amount of time for terminal hacking, BLUFOR will have a minute and a half to go back and stop the hack on the terminal, and that's all you need to know. That's how the operation will go. So BLUFOR, they had a lot more guys in infantry groups than defensive assets themselves. So we've got 2 UH-1s, which are Hueys. The Huey model being very powerful, though we did see last week that Friday Night Fights, they have reconfigured the vehicles so that the Hueys are no longer too OP. If they hit the ground too hard, they will explode, so it basically fixes it from RHS. But they are also equipped with 240s. We also have 4 open top Humvees. They can fit 6 people in the back and 2 in the front, so those are for squads. And then these are the 1 whatever designation, basically armed MRAPS with a nice little top covering. These can take only like 4 people, I think a 5th with the gunner. But otherwise, that is it for BLUFOR. Iceberg asking if there's no anti-missile stuff. No. Hueys do not have that. The biggest threat to the Hueys is both teams are going to be fielding their MAT gunners, which are the javelins that can lock onto anything with the thermal signature. So they can... Looks like that just got changed to a javelin, actually. I think because he was default NATO because he was loading in. So he will have 1 round for the javelin, and then here's his assistant gunner. He has an additional round. And since GREENFOR will be fielding in both helicopters, that is going to probably be used as AA, because I can't really see anything else that will be used, except maybe the 50 cals, because, you know, some good hits will penetrate and kill the pilot, since they know Independent are not going to be fielding any co-pilots. There's also 2 static 50s here. We'll see where BLUFOR decides to put those. But now let's look at Independent. They have been given a spawn on the southern MSR here. Both MSRs converge at a T intersection right here to go into the AO. But they have been given their BTR-80. We have an armed Humvee and a Dishka. Technical. Actually, that would be technically a gun truck. We got some cool camoed Hueys with 240 Bravos as well on the side, so 7.62 instead of 50 cal. It means it's going to have less penetration and less ability to destroy vehicles. And we've got a varied amount of trucks, even a UN truck, which I find kind of interesting here. But I don't see anything else. I did list out what assets they had in terms of designation. I'm just making sure I got everything. So yeah, we'll see where they decide to put these 2 gun cars here, where they decide to put that BTR-80. If I was in BLUFOR shoes, I would probably take out 1 helicopter and the BTR-80 with my MAT team. Because BTR-80, it's a very big threat if it's left to its own devices. But... Independent, they do have RPGs. They also have the really deadly RPG warhead, the Tandem Heat, which can knock vehicles out pretty easily. Meanwhile, BLUFOR is just going to be restricted to AT4s for their ATs, so I would definitely have the MAT team take out the BTR, because that is, you know, the biggest threat. So, we'll see how things go with there. It looks like they're Javelin guys having a few troubles connecting in. We're also seeing some people also having some issues. But overall, looking at GREENFOR's approach, they have the 2 MSRs. We also have these massive hills for MAT teams and snipers to go on. Really just on the first terminal, Overwatch can be done via this big ridge really close by, and they also do have some towers that Independent can garrison and look across. But, with this big hill, there's also a far ridge line over here with a wrecked building. That might be the... No, that one's too far. One of these wrecked buildings in the vanilla campaign, you find not Miller, but his other dude, and they're just overwatching Altus. I think that one's more over there, actually. But these wrecked buildings can give them some good overwatch. It's just getting up there is going to be difficult. You also have to remember the Matt team. He's not just an AT guy or an AA guy. He also has a thermal camera. So he'll be able to see anything up on the side ridges climbing up, and also be a good bit of recon data. Or at least get some recon data. And if you know where your enemy is coming from, you can easily redeploy your units and counter them accordingly. Otherwise, looking at Terminal 1 here, it's in a building. They're specifically marked. There's no area waypoint, so Independent will know exactly where it is. We have a nice little bunker right here, but it can easily be flanked from this ridge line. So I probably wouldn't put a static in there if I was in BLUFOR's shoes. But this position's really tough to defend because you have this ridge right here that OPFOR can just poke over and engage. Plus, they've got the far ridges for recon, and I mean, they could literally just put a team right down here and then walk up because they got a little bit of defilade to go up. So BLUFOR will probably need some units right here. They can't go mostly up to the ridge right here. Let's see. They can go to just about right here from the looks of it. Any more is out of bounds, but this would also be a pretty decent spot to do recon from. It's just very limited because they have to stay within the map borders. So if a marksman starts pinning them down, it could be an issue. But BLUFOR will definitely have to utilize these two big hills, probably that one back there too, if need be, to keep Overwatch going. So Terminal 1, probably a difficult fight. I, as BLUFOR, wouldn't really garrison too much here. I'd probably put a few guys in the outlying buildings just to set up some traps to try to bait Independent in. But let's look at Terminal 2. Terminal 2 has some far ridges out here, but they're outside the map boundary. We have this one right here, which is in, but this is a much longer engagement radius, and BLUFOR and Independent are limited to short-range scopes, so not as bad as that one ridge by Terminal 1, but still, it is potential for the Independent marksman to go up there and commit some pot shots. But this one, it's in a little bit more of a defensible building that's been garrisoned up. The terminal also has got some sandbags around it. But in terms of buildings, I mean, we got one right here that they could garrison the second stories of, but still, from, looking right here, got some open kill zones here that a machine gunner could take out. But we also do have a little bit of a riverbed right here. It's dried up, but, you can see where Independent could bring units up and get very close to right on top that position. But that, going up to there, we still have a few windows that if BLUFOR pulls security well, they can take things out. But, Independent can go up through this angle and get pretty close to close the distance. And then, again, this riverbed right here, I mean, it leads to all three terminals. It starts literally at Terminal 1, continues off to the power plant, but that could probably be used, and it has just enough defilade that, well, I mean, maybe BLUFOR will be able to spot it with the big hills. We're also noticing that the render distance is a little limited here, and I'm not sure if they can change that or not, so that could be a little messy. But let's look at Terminal 3. So again, this riverbed doesn't get them all the way to Terminal 3. It gets them close, though, but it does get them over back here, where they can get on these high positions and come around. So Terminal 3, a little tougher. They got this big hill nearby, which BLUFOR I would expect to have something up here for Overwatch, but it's got a pretty good perimeter with the exception of, you know, these nice little hills here that offer Independent to get up and do some proper defilade. We also have BLUFOR having access to this little cop. This tower will be really, really nice to help cover the right flank. And then if they just have one or two guys up here, they can easily cover the left. But this AO is pretty interesting. It's fairly balanced. Independent has a lot of ways to get to the terminal sites, but BLUFOR has a lot of ways that if they you know, set their units up correctly, they'll be able to watch most of those sites coming in, and the ranges of this AO are limited to the point that you know, BLUFOR could cover things. The risk, though, is Independent can take helicopters outside of the AO. So can BLUFOR. But Independent's going to be more on the offense here. So will Independent risk taking a helicopter with a full squad around and then deploying it somewhere in one of these valleys between these ridges? That's going to be a very interesting question of debate, and I'll be curious to see how Independent executes their plan. Already Independent sending up the gun car up the MSR. They're probably going to stop. Nope, they're vectoring left, maybe to get up on a hill to do some preliminary recon to see how BLUFOR is deploying, because I imagine the render distance is limited, so people can already, you know, do some preliminary recon before they get into the AOs themselves. The player count is about 65 players total. And Nafs, how are you doing? Well, yeah, that's, you know, my analysis of this operation. I think it could go either way. It's going to really depend on where Independent places their units and where BLUFOR puts their MAT team and what BLUFOR decides to put their MAT team on. If the MAT team does not kill the BTR, I think the BTR is going to be a very big threat. Because we've seen it time and time again, when the BTR is not dealt with, it can do some it can dish some serious damage. So that would be a priority target for BLUFOR. But with all of these ridges here, we'll have to see if the BTR is going to try to use one of them to fire from high ground, or is it going to go into the valley and potentially end up in a kill zone? I mean, overall, I haven't seen any assets on either team that I would consider traps. BLUFOR, I think, had a good idea of not garrisoning both choppers, but I know the commander wanted both used. I think BLUFOR only needs one, because they'll be able to get recon from staying up on the high cliffs. The only reason they'll need a chopper is to hunt down Independent choppers, but if you had one chopper with both guns, you could take on both of the choppers just by getting in between them. They're not allowed to kamikaze assets. And this was something that I heavily debated with them. This is one of the reasons I actually don't play FNF, is because I would be way too tempted in a vehicle to run people over, and that's against the rules. But I've done it so many times that it literally is just an instinct for me, and I don't want to get banned from commentating, so I don't really play on... I don't have any plans to really play on the ground for that reason.
I'll see you tonight for more PvP smiles.
But, you know, the Hueys are also not allowed to ram into each other or in the VIX. Now, there are exceptions. For example, we saw last week when Logan, it wasn't Logan, it was someone else, rammed their speedboat minigun into an RHIB. That was because he was alone and there was no choice. But, you know, it's very situational. I just don't want to risk it. But anyway, yes, Barbarian and maybe Sergeant Warwick will also join us for the NA branch later today for some more PvP Friday Night Fights esports bollocks. And yeah, can't wait to see you there. It's Warwick. I'm sorry. You know I can't say your name right, Bavarian Viking. Just don't worry about it. Barb gets so pissed. But Barb, thank you for the 21-month resub. I hope you keep enjoying the ops. Thank you so much for all the editing work you do for me, and hope you get a kick out of this while you're working. But anyway, to talk about personal plans, tomorrow from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. I will stream a commander perspective of a 99-person PvP event. It's been a pain in the ass because I keep getting drip-fed random information that is really important for me to know. For example, I was told, because it's BLUFOR US versus OPFOR Insurgents, I was told that they wouldn't have any AA. Now I'm being told they might have AA. I was told that OPFOR wasn't allowed to steal our mortars. Then a guy on my team in BLUFOR made an argument for why OPFOR should be able to steal our mortars, so now they can steal our mortars. And each squad has a mortar for some weird reason, even though we're not allowed to use them most of the time because of civilian casualties and bollocks. So I don't know why we have them. It's just bait for OPFOR to steal, I guess, now. And we have a defensive fob that we're spawning from. So I think we're going to get spawned and trapped or something. And now EOD magically gets demining drones, even though there was no mention of it on any documentation. So now EOD is going to be slower because they want to use the drones instead of walking. So I'm just like, you know, like I'm not even... I made plans. I made a giant document listing out, you know, everything that I feel like people should know. Now I'm not even touching it because I don't want to bother. But anyway, mission has started. We have Independent that have split up in various directions. Both helicopters going up the right flank. We have a medic that is, I guess, AFK by himself. I don't really know why. I think he's just AFK. But we've seen an AFK guy be the last survivor before, so that would be pretty funny. Helicopter's coming up. It looks like it's dropping some people off. It's dropping the MAT team off. So BLUFOR's trying to rush ahead to try to snipe independent targets. That's a very good place to go to because it's got a lot of coverage of these positions. BLUFOR looks like they're actually doing rushes. Like literal counter rushes. They have a team set up by Terminal 1. They're not really putting too much on Terminal 2 and 3, so that's going to leave room for Independent to go around. And Rek is shooting at his own helicopter. I think Rek is the BLUFOR marksman, but yeah, he, I don't like his Overwatch position. There's so many better places he could go, but already he's... Okay. Are you... Please, kill the pilot and make my day. Like, just show me that silly, silly thing. But anyway, you gotta remember, these guys are part of Scandi Recon, and they're doing a... pretty much a counter-offensive here, but we have the Dishka Vic pushing up. It is firing at these infantry groups over here, again, utilizing those far hills to their advantage. MAT team is probably going to get eyes on and call up this group to come in. Meanwhile, we do have two guys sneaking up, some of these guys staying down. But yeah, already a large amount of fighting going on. We're seeing a FAR team already engaging. They're going to pull away because I think these guys are just running distraction because the main force is completely pulling around. So these helicopters don't have any additional crew, they just have their gunners. And the BLUFOR helicopter's over here, and now we might see some helicopter v helicopter action. We've also got a big transport truck, 2 transport trucks coming up to this far ridge, so we're going to see a lot of action everywhere. And the second BLUFOR helicopter is also up, and they're going to shoot at each other as Independent try to pull away. So BLUFOR, we already see a man down. I cannot pronounce that. But he probably got shot by the vehicle up here. BTR-80 also up here, firing some more shots. MAT team is probably going to try to get set up to take that out. We're seeing smoke grenades popped. I just saw AT get launched. That was by BLUFOR. It was a miss, unfortunately. But now he is in perfect position for the MAT team to engage. Will MAT team do it? There's the Javelin. And that BTR-80 is toast. They're going to be able to get dismounts on it. But yeah, it's smoking. We probably have a KIA in there. But yeah, perfect positioning for BLUFOR to utilize that. But the main GREENFOR group is coming out over here. We also have a side group that's dismounted over here. Logan, who's the marksman, also setting up right there. And these guys are exchanging fire. Wheaton is probably going to be the guy that is dead. It was a +3, so there's already one other KIA here. But if we scroll down, it might have been Anderson. But there goes Wheaton. He's still, I guess, alive, maybe? I don't know. But Pads gets a grenade to the face as these two guys from Delta come in. Gorski is going to get the drop on Pads. Meanwhile, Bridge is coming up. He is the MAT team gunner for Independent, but he doesn't hear that Dusty gets shot, so Gorski doesn't turn around. Bridges gets eyes on, though. He could engage Gorski here. Tries shooting him in the back, gets a headshot, and he is knocked down. So BLUFOR lose that push there. But if BLUFOR could capture Bridges' mat gun, that would be devastating for Independent. Meanwhile, Boston's still alive. He gets back up. Nothing too hasty there. BLUFOR sending their units down. Independent circling their choppers on the left flank. So yeah, this was purely a distraction that BLUFOR is definitely trying to counter. I just want to see now where Independent goes from here. They've got guys on this really large ridge. I think they're going to try to follow it down, use the ridge line here, and assault the first terminal position. This Independent group, I don't know what they're doing. I think they're going to head up and possibly try to get up on this hill and go to Terminal 2, but I don't see where they can really maneuver because there's a lot of open areas for them to go to the other terminal points. So I think putting people up at that flank was a little bit of a mistake, but we'll have to see. Meanwhile, we have, I think Dusty woke back up. Yep. He has no idea Boston is right behind him. Boston is at another body. I think he's looking up and Dusty, no. Mountain trying to land. Boston now not looking in that direction. If he was still looking there, he would have seen Dusty get up. And now we're seeing helicopters engage. They're firing down at the destroyed BTR, so a little bit of friendly fire going right there. They're just getting confused that the MAT team is engaging them. So what is Dusty going to do? Looks like NASA's pushed up. These guys are firing over here. Looks like they're firing down on this group's position. Probably spotted the vehicles, and these guys have no idea they're being engaged from that rear. But that long-range fire, we see that's going blue by the time it gets here. Bullets aren't going to be that deadly. But what is Dusty doing? He is crawling over, still bleeding a little bit. He might try to get on top of Nutty Person's perspective. Looks like his gunner died. The vehicle looks mostly okay, though. And Dusty's also got to be careful because he's getting shot at by friendly bullets. So Independent have deployed Fred over here. He was one of the pilots. That's interesting. I don't think BLUFOR's noticed, but maybe he'll try to back cap. But yeah, BLUFOR only's got one guy on the gun. So yeah, again, the Hueys are just flying around right here. And the Independent Huey just shot at the other Independent Huey. Even though one side is bright green and the others are tan. But that is the air fight going here. We also have Humvee that's pushed up. Again, firing at BLUFOR's position. Other Javelin goes, and it's going to go for the vehicle. Okay. So that takes out the M2 Vic right there. So BLUFOR foregoing their AT capability, excuse me, AA capability to go AT. Dusty, meanwhile, has climbed up to his friend's body. Wheaton is now unconscious. Nutty Person's still around. I thought Dusty was taking out Nutty, but he's going to probably loot that 240 Bravo and scan around. He's still got to check out that Dishko. We still have Nutty up here. Not doing much. We hear a cook-off explosion from that Vic, but yeah, these guys are just going to keep it to the air war. Meanwhile, I think both of these pilots have noticed that, yeah, no, the GREENFOR one has that, but he's trying to just stay under him. Meanwhile, other chopper, this is crazy what's going on here. We have one of the GREENFOR guys went unconscious. That was the guy that was stuck. And yeah, they're just going to shoot at each other and probably burn most of their ammo for the rest of this match. So we'll see who wins that fight. Fred's still deployed. Wait, it's not Fred. It's now Almighty Muzz. I thought it was Fred. Never mind. Yeah, GREENFOR's still up in that position. I think that's just a major waste of their manpower. But yeah, these helicopters are going to duke it out in the meantime. BLUFOR still has a pretty good defensive position. Looks like they're firing at the ridgeline up here. I think mispiding where they are. But it looks like Dusty went unconscious. The vehicle was taken. Maybe Dusty bled out. I don't know what would have gotten him. Maybe Nutty took him out. But we have Boston, Stray Dog, and Bridges coming up here. So they're going to clear this, probably double tap Dusty. Meanwhile, the MAT team is now being engaged by fire all the way up from that ridge line. BLUFOR has a force over here. They're doing their best to hold. Rocket just came in on that MRAP, and it is now smoking. Some suppressive fire going up as well. Another RPG being loaded, a tandem warhead. He quickly gets down. Little texture glitch right there. And we just saw one helicopter go down for Independent. Far, because the pilot was knocked out. We saw a little medical symbol right there. So Independent have lost a chopper in the chopper warfare. That is gonna... I don't know how much of a major blow that's going to be, but if BLUFOR can get air superiority and start striking at Independent positions, that's going to let BLUFOR get a massive advantage on this fight. Meanwhile, Independent's still back here. They're getting grenades thrown at them, but they're rolling down the hills here. Suppressive fire come out. They're trying to hit the gunner out of that Vic. And the MAT team is popping a bunch of smokes under suppressing fire, I guess trying to go reinforce that other BLUFOR position. Meanwhile, the chopper... I mean, the chopper fight's still going. I think, with two choppers, BLUFOR should easily be able to, got that Independent one. Yeah, so Fred is in that vehicle. I thought he was the guy that landed, but yeah, Almighty, he might just try to back cap Terminal 2 or Terminal 3, but that back cap's only going to be as useful as, just heard something get hit on the chopper. But the back cap's only going to be useful if they can take Terminal 1 and 2. We just heard a rocket go off. That is a javelin round going to the MRAP. Interesting. So that was already hit by AT and disabled, but I guess MAT team for Independent just wanted to make sure it was down because I guess it was being too much of a hassle. I would have struck at the Hueys at that point. But we have French now pulling way out of the AO, and looks like Robertson is going to break off and instead work on over here. We have this one also pulling back north, don't know why, but, you know, we still have Scandi Recon down here. They're being kept in reserve. They still have the other MRAP, but if they could identify that that gun came from up here, they could basically assault the other MAT team at close range and they wouldn't be able to lock on. But we're seeing marksman shots coming from Logan at this position here. And they're not able to properly PID his elevation. So yeah, I think they're going to mount up and probably reposition instead. So, interesting choice by Logan. I can see why he engage his position, though. He wants them to push off because he wants to try to defend his MAT team. So, decent call there. But the bullets are just taking a little too long. And yep, they're going to push off. That might get the MAT team. Oh, we just saw another rocket get launched. That is going over to a helicopter, it looks like. Yep, and helicopter is hit. It's going to have to try to land. Nope, engine's down, and that now evens out the helicopter fights. Shame they didn't save it because they could have sniped Scandi Recon out of that MRAP. But they would have still probably been able to dismount. So that is all of the MAT missiles fired. We have Boston down right here. Someone else that has died. So really good work. I think that was the marksman up in that tower shooting at them. Yeah, I mean, he is dead on with the bodies he's trying to double tap. So overall, fight is still anyone's game. I would say it's leaning on BLUFOR solely because look at BLUFOR's positioning right here. They have Terminal 1 pretty well locked down. Independent, meanwhile, have one force over here, a small team up here, and then this group up here. But they, for the most part, don't have a vehicle advantage. If anything, BLUFOR has the vehicle advantage because they still have an active MRAP and a Huey, while Independent just have the Huey and the Dishka. But it is still anyone's game because fights like these still will come down to the PvP. So maybe this team will come down and cause some massive casualties and be able to take Terminal 1. Meanwhile, I think Almighty has determined that Terminal 3 has no one on it, so they'll back cap. But I'd be curious to see if this team tries to sneak a guy in to take Terminal 2, and then Almighty stays for Terminal 3, and it's just up to this team to get a guy up to Terminal 1 to defend it. But Platoon HQ is right on top of Terminal 1, so BLUFOR is not going to give that one up without a fight. So them choosing to have Terminal 1 be their stand, I think, even though I disagree with the ridge, putting guys up on this ridge worked out for them because Independent deployed their units really far out in a massive pincer. Now we're just going to have to see if Independent or BLUFOR will win the PvP bout. Meanwhile, Alexander back here, he is not a medic. He's the team lead for these guys. They might be able to get Goran up if to this guy, if Alexander can stabilize him. But it's a very risky play. You do not want to lose your medics early on, because otherwise you're kind of screwed. Meanwhile, one guy has survived from the choppers. He's getting fired at by friendlies because they can't PID. He might get blue on blued. Let me correct that. He already was blue on blue. I'm saying he might get killed by a friendly. So failure to PID right there. For reference, here's Arcor. He's wearing a dark green woodland camo assessment. Meanwhile, these guys are wearing a more brownish one. But it does have a little bit of woodland camo there. So I guess from this range of the scope, I can understand why he would blue on blue. Because, you know, only with his like 1x magnification, it's very tough to tell. But you never know. Meanwhile, these guys looks like they've survived the chopper crash. And that's another 3 guys for infantry that can go around and be a pain in Independent's side. Nemesis and Finn, they are actually completely pulling back here with the chopper to cover them. Almighty probably heard the chopper coming. He definitely hears that MRAP coming now. But they're probably pulling back to form a defensive perimeter on to prevent any back capping. So I'm curious to see if Almighty has he set up any demo or traps? He doesn't appear to be an engineer. Looks like a rifleman. He could be an NG though. I'm not sure if they get any special symbols, but if they did, it's the single triangle. But that would be really, really despicable if they put explosives at, you know, defensive positions at Terminal 3 and deaded them as BLUFOR came in. That would probably be a game-winning move, to be perfectly honest. But yeah, 3 guys over here. Arcor still moving around down here. He's an engineer. You can tell by the symbol above him. But it looks like he doesn't have that the triangle on it. So if Arcor was back there, that could be a lot worse. But yeah, no, I think Almighty is just a chopper gunner because he's got the helicopter symbol over his head. So Independent have moved up to this ridge, a pretty sizable force. BLUFOR has a light defensive garrison here because BLUFOR is pretty badly spread out. And we have this team coming all the way up here. I think they were just checking for hostile forces. Almighty up right here as well. He's going to quickly get down. And BLUFOR has no reason to know that he's back here. Nothing's protruding up. Fog of War is crazy, man. People will get within meters of each other and not even know it. Now you also have the helicopter flying over. Again, they're just trying to check to make sure Independent isn't bringing things around. I think they know they're doing this because they know Independent probably still has units in reserve based off of what BLUFOR's already seen. Knowing that they have this one big group, they still have a group somewhere, which is all the way over here. I don't think these guys knew about that any more than Logan engaging with his marksman rifle. Otherwise, Independent will eventually have to make a move here, but they're gonna get pinned down by a lot of different units just in various different positions, and it's gonna make maneuvering from this ridgeline, excuse me, very difficult. But the more they keep pinned over here, the more time BLUFOR has to reposition and do a lot of damage. But Independent, they got one rifleman firing down over here. Medic was pushed up. He is working on, I can't even pronounce that, to get him up. So if that guy keeps firing, he could probably get some KI kills in there. Excuse me. Independent chopper also flying over. BLUFOR is being sent over to this ridge, maybe to deal with that Independent group. They're looking for that other Independent team. They know there's more guys out. They just don't know where they are. So I commend BLUFOR for playing it defensive and trying to find them. Is there a time limit? Yes. I I don't know what they are until they actually appear. Usually by default it's an hour, but some matches can have like 15 to 30 minute time limits too. We'll know if something comes up on the bottom right, and we'll see how things go. Also, let me get rid of that. I'm not connected to TeamSpeak because it would just put me in the channel. I mean, I could probably get connected, though, because I don't have anyone to commentate with. But Arcor, meanwhile, he's snuck up here. He could get in some pretty nasty licks here, but instead it looks like he's trying to engage Hector over here, who is stuck bandaging. So Arcor's going to move up. Doesn't check by the MRAP. Gorin might see him. Oh, unfortunately his patient dies, but Arcor's going to come up here, pops a grenade in there. Gorin could look up and shoot Arcor. Grenade goes off. Hector's going to probably think that that was a GL, so he's going to be immediately bandaging. Arcor's going to run up and get the double tap. Oh, what a beautiful kill. So he's going to be able to steal that 249 and probably do a lot of damage here. Gorin might have just seen Arcor walk up right there. But yep, grabs the gun, starts firing on these BLUFOR guys. This is the break Independent needed to prevent BLUFOR from pushing up that angle. So Arcor, yep, grabs that 249, immediately takes one of them out, starts, wow, oh my gosh. Gets a nice double kill right there. Alexander now running up the tower. Let's see if Arcor hears those footsteps. He does not. Arcor turns around. Nasty fight. I think Alexander ran out of ammo. So did Arcor. Arcor whips out his handgun. And Arcor goes down because Alexander was able to get that quick reload. But the damage has been done. Losing 3 people on that flank might be all that Independent needs. But Independent instead is doing a very risky and dangerous charge down an open hill with smoke. They already have one man that is down. I see wounds from the other 2 guys. That's a very dumb idea. If anything, you want to come down this ridge, level the playing field here, and then go on the flat terrain, because now everything is going to be able to look at this smoke and see these guys moving. Looks like these BLUFOR guys are now going a different route, you know, going off this side hill. So I guess these guys are just a distraction? I don't know, but already one dies. If they were going to do a distraction, I think only 2 people should have been sent, because 3 people is less than 4 that would have come down that flank. We still have dudes defensive up here. So Independent, I think, is squandering their resources here. We just saw another guy get shot in the head. Bluck trying desperately to bandage himself, but I think that was just a misuse of GREENFOR's resources. And now GREENFOR is also taking some heavy casualties up on this ridgeline. Meanwhile, GREENFOR is sending these guys down to this position. Interesting. Rek is getting in one of the 50 cals over here. He is now going to start suppressing because that's where the 50 cal spawned. Again, providing fire on this ridgeline. We have BLUFOR chopper flying around over here. Independent chopper flying up ahead. Again, there is no MAT AT ammo left. So those things pretty much have free reign until they fly too close to a 50 or something. We just heard a rocket get launched. Might have... No, I actually have no idea. It looks like actually it came close to Platoon HQ. He is just pulling this Vic back, probably to grab his 50 cal guy, but I think he's just leaving instead. But Fane, thanks so much for the 5-month resub. So close to 6 months indeed. Thank you so much. I hope you keep enjoying the ops. Hope you're getting a kick out of FNF, and I hope you're getting a kick out of this round. Independent still on a high turf here. They started engaging probably with that piece of AT. They dropped the launcher because they're probably out of ammo for it, but now they're getting engaged. I think that's Scandia Recon back there with that MRAP. And we, you know, have the Bravo team here also engaging. So maybe it's to pull attention away from these guys coming down. But something interesting to note is we do have a back cap coming. Alexander could potentially get a headshot snipe on Finn or the gunner and basically pull a fast one on Scandia Recon. So Scandia Recon isn't being careful. They're gonna get shot in the back of the head. But by the way, guys, if you want to see a multi-Twitch perspective, we do have a lot of the guys in Scandia Recon streaming. So if you want to watch them get jumps, I would hit type !MULTI, get on that multi, and you might be able to see one of them get headshotted, because I would love to hear their reaction. But otherwise, these 3 guys are pinned down by that 50 on the MRAP. Oh my gosh, look at Finn. But did Almighty spot him? I don't think so. This would be a perfect walk up and shoot in the back of the head, but I think Almighty's going to go for that 50 instead. The issue is he's very well protected. He's going to have to go like right behind it and get a top hit. But yeah, no, he's going to crawl up. Helicopter just flew overhead for Independent. We see some BLUFOR guys now engaging the Independent flank coming around over here. Platoon is also pulling around. So Almighty's got to be quick on this maneuver. But yeah, I guess prioritizing that 50 is a good idea. Pierce might save them, though, because Pierce is driving up. He might see this Independent guy coming around. But Almighty is going to go prone. And there's it, the shot on Infidel's head. Pierce now walking up to that thing. No one has realized. So beautifully done there. Platoon HQ just got in there. More gunshots going up. They haven't realized they're getting engaged. I think the gunner just realized he was getting engaged by something. But yeah, they switched the wounded guy out for Platoon HQ. And now Finn, no, he still doesn't notice. These are the plays that can literally make or break the game. So they're not noticing his gunshots because the 50 cal is drowning out his audio. So they don't know that there is a dude literally right here. Oh, he's screwed now. He's screwed now. Finn now looking around. Almighty not even in a good spot to hide himself. Finn has no idea he's going right up towards them. And there's the shot. So Almighty was trying to penetrate the cap of that. The gunner just turned in to go even lower. Almighty, again, a great idea, was able to get one of them wounded. I don't think there's a medic here to bring him back, but just a little squandered on that side because it all, you know, he gave himself away trying to penetrate that play. But again, really good play. Very good play. I would love to see more of that in FNF. But otherwise, we have Hockey here, wounded, but Goran is a medic. He might be able to get him back up. We got another wounded guy over here that Goran can then get up. But BLUFOR's taken this ridge. Alexander's pulled up to make sure it's clear. And that massive group of Independent forces is now down to 3. And they're going to start trying to come into Terminal 1 here. We also have 3 guys coming up this flank. But BLUFOR does not have that many guys. They are very well scattered here. Because if we were to look at the roster, we got a lot of GREENFOR deaths, but a lot of BLUFOR deaths as well. But I'm definitely seeing more skulls on GREENFOR than BLUFOR. So all BLUFOR needs to do is consolidate their force and dig in, and they should be fine. Let GREENFOR come to them. But, wow. Dooley getting torn up right here. He got crippled. He goes prone, taking more bullets, trying to roll to the left. Has to probably try to hide behind that bush, or at least roll down the hill, but he is... Look at the amount of gunshots he just took. Bandaging in the open, not a good idea because they still see him. He's on an open side ridge, and there he goes unconscious. Probably not going to wake up from the sheer amount of bullets that have gone in him. So that was a little bit of a squander right there. Rest in peace, Dooley. But yeah, never bandage in an open ridge line because you're just going to keep getting shot. It's not like these are AI. These are actual people that will murder your butt. Clown, how are you doing? Are you the same clown I know and love and I used to run AT with? Because those were the days back in the 501st. Good times. Anyway, BLUFOR has taken this ridge. This is where a majority of their forces are now. So now BLUFOR can just hold this ridge and shoot at any Independent guys that come in. Independent might be able to overpower this 2-man position. We also got 2 guys in the woodwork back here as more Independents come around right here too. Wreck, meanwhile, he's got his handgun out. Gets a headshot with that handgun. Hazard not turning around. Olaf, these guys are none the wiser. They didn't notice that Wreck just wrecked one of their dudes. Hazard now gets up on the 2nd story. Gets some shots on Wreck, though. I think Wreck's out of marksman ammo, because otherwise he should be using that one instead. Olaf firing up at that ridge, though. Hazard now pushing back as Wreck pulls around. Hazard has now chased him down. Wreck is not checking his rear. He's going to get shot in the ass. Wreck, come on. You can get him, Wreck. Whoa! And now we got a BLUFOR MRAP also coming up as Olaf. Are you kidding me? Olaf now going prone. He doesn't want to piss the MRAP off. And the MRAP drives right by. Oh, my God. Wreck now getting multiple double taps. Hazard is not going to wake back up. This up for independent push has just been completely nullified by a handgun. Olaf is probably going to kill Wreck now, but wow. Just wow. He's going to crawl right up to him. Wreck and CK, they trade! That was incredible. Like I said earlier in this match, this is going to come down to the PvP. It only takes one guy that knows what he's doing to halt an entire 3-man offensive. And with that, Scandi Recon has now reinforced Terminal 1. There's only going to be 3 OPFOR guys assaulting this position. They have lost the numbers advantage. It was going to be 6v4. Now it would have been 6v... Scandi probably brought 4 more people, so 6v8. Still doable, but now it's like... What, 4, 5, 6, yeah, 8v3. So BLUFOR is going to win this fight by numbers. Nutty person caught in an open area getting shot at by a machine gun. He takes a headshot by Nemesis. Oh, they're using my little hidey hole up here. I always put dudes up here. That way, if they come in, I can shoot them with the one guy up on this ledge. So I love how Nemesis is using my favorite position in these warehouse buildings and manages to catch one guy in the open and murder him. So now it's 8v2. I don't see Independent pulling back here. We have a grounded helicopter being shot at by BLUFOR. That's going to give BLUFOR air superiority. Whether it's out of fuel, it might be out of ammo, or they just need the guys on the ground at this point. I don't know, but yeah, I don't see BLUFOR losing this fight because of just the sheer number advantage BLUFOR has. Again, looking on the left, look at all these skulls, and look at all the lack of skulls on BLUFOR's perspective. But Wreck definitely making, in my opinion, the play of the game. I thought Drake just fragged himself for a second. I was gonna laugh my ass off, but wow. With a handgun and a stolen rifle. Amazing. I mean, I love seeing plays like that, you know? So I'd be curious to see. I don't think Bridges or Boston are going to climb up right here. If they were to use the same tactic Nemesis has been using and peek out, they might be able to get a kill or two. Because I'm going to be honest, people normally never check this window. And I've, as a Zeus, have gotten away with the AI using it. And wow, they just keyholed Boston. Nemesis getting his second kill. He has got a 240 Bravo, so that will easily penetrate the small, like, it's literally just sheet metal that covers this. So now Bridges is the only guy left with an empty mat gun. I'm surprised he still has that. I would have dropped that after it was used, but he's also crippled. So... yeah, it's 1v8. He's crippled, has no mobility, also has that AT on. No, look what he's doing. He's doing exactly what I expected him to do. All right. He's going to be able to look out, but by now the BLUFOR guys that were here, they've repositioned. Now you just have people watching sectors. So we got also some BLUFOR guys sneaking around here. And BLUFOR's helicopter, because they have air superiority, is now harassing down here. I'll be curious to see if this chopper gets back up. Nope, looks like they've gotten in the gun to fire back at BLUFOR, but BLUFOR is they're aware of that, and they are wow, just this round has been crazy. BLUFOR knows that they have that chopper gun, so he's now staying exceptionally high and avoiding his fire there. And now we see some BLUFOR guys engaging dudes up here, but yeah, I mean, really this fell apart because Independent pushed down way too many open hills that could be spotted by anyone in the low ground, and they've just been getting decimated because of it. Yeah, so they have enhanced movement, but it's the enhanced movement rework, so you can't abuse it. So you can't like spam spacebar to climb up mountains super quickly. And there's also certain inclines that you can't enhance movement on. But yeah, at this point, now it's just BLUFOR is going to clean up Independent because BLUFOR has such a numbers advantage. They also still have an MRAP, and they have a helicopter that's working. So Independent is just going to get cut down at this point. We still have Logan up there on the ridge. Don't know what he's going to pull, but he usually pulls some pretty crazy plays. Anyway, Wraith, to answer your questions... what did roll on in here? I don't know what you mean by that. Secondly, would throw your D&D into Arma 3. Wraith DM me with that stuff, because I don't think that's portraying to FNF, and I will handle it, because a little hard to read what... Like, I'm trying to read what you're saying, but it's, I gotta focus on this, because that's, I don't know. Ah! I'm confused. Meanwhile, Bridge is still in here. I guess staying low. We're seeing some more gunshots go into here. That is, Finn shooting up into that position. I'd be curious to see if Drake comes in and tries to backcap. Bridge is trying to find an angle here. Might catch the clerk out of position. And that's exactly what he fires at, but he only gets an arm shot. So if these guys are doing audio PID, they'll know that Bridge is still there. They're throwing grenades up to his position. They accidentally threw a smoke. Heard another grenade get thrown. That's another smoke, and Drake is now pushing up and might try to secure his building. But Bridges is going to still be on that high area, and we might be able to see him get shot by, or excuse me, Drake will probably get shot by him if he is not careful. At this point, the helicopter here is just rotating, staying up high, and is just shooting down, trying to make sure French is dead. But yeah, air superiority with that 240 is no joke. Meanwhile, Bridges, the issue is he's exposed on that window. There's Hudson, and Hudson gets shot, because again, people never expect this position. And it costs them every single time, even if it's PvE in my Zeus ops. They're always caught out of position by that one spot. So Drake now knows there is a bad guy in here from those gunshots. The question is, he could literally shoot him if he knows what he's looking for. He could get right here and shoot up there. He's going to give himself a little bit of medicine first, probably a bandage. But I will say, Bridges is lucky in the sense that this partially covers his head. He throws a grenade over here to be safe. Oh, and Nelson found a good angle and shoots Bridges in the butt and legs. And now they just need Drake to go in there and shoot him in the face, and that is pretty much over for, that's GG for Independent. They still have guys here, but they're not... Even if they rally, there's way too many BLUFOR guys at this point. Ah, man. So now that we have a little bit of a break, Wraith, if you want to resend that. I'm sorry, I think I'm literally becoming dyslexic because I'm finding things harder to read and my typing's a little more sporadic, but who knows what we have. Let's see. Logan up here dumping his handgun into the chopper to the point the bullets are literally despawning before they hit the ground. You couldn't read that either? Okay. But yeah, they're getting out angles, the chopper. French desperately trying to shoot the other chopper down to give his guys some advantage. Looks like Bridges has woken back up, but the movement up there has caused now the ridgeline to start firing down on that position. So Bridges needs to essentially reposition, but he is not going to be able to do anything with this massive ridgeline right here. They're so trigger happy that they were just shooting at Melson too, so... Yeah, I mean, just BLUFOR with the garrison right here and the ridgeline right here, there's no way in hell Independent is going to be able to get to here. I mean, he does have a grenadier rifle. That GP25 with his AK, he could potentially get a grenadier round in the wind. Of course. Of course. The contingency plan, in case BLUFOR somehow gets 360 no-scope by Bridges, going in, shooting everyone in the face like he doesn't care. There's always the satchel charge. Interesting, one of the BLUFOR guys picked up an independent weapon. Yeah, he switched it from this guy, but then he was killed. I wonder what got him. Because that wasn't there earlier, so maybe he was mis-PID'd. We have another independent guy unconscious on the side of an open ridge. That was Sequence. He was getting shot at earlier. French staying in this helicopter. He's got another guy with him, but it's spreading Independent very thin compared to how thin they are already. And these guys already spotted by that ridge line. At this point, Chopper just needs to come in and shoot people, but I wonder why it's landing over here. Maybe to pick up a gunner. because his gunner went down. Wow, so French actually was able to kill the gunner off the helicopter. That's some impressive shooting, but BLUFOR has the manpower to literally just get another one. In fact, they're gonna get some guys loaded and might go on the offense here now that they have air superiority. So they're gonna take the guys with the Russian techs, I think it's Serbia Arma is the group name. They're gonna leave some dudes up here on defense in the vehicle. They have the manpower for it, and they're gonna go hunting. It is a big rest, Iceberg, but to be perfectly honest, looking at the roster here, I mean, they have the manpower for it because GREENFOR is toast. I think by now, BLUFOR knows, based off of all of the recon they've been doing with the chopper, that Independent doesn't really have anything left. I mean, they dealt with that massive attack up here, probably have been roughly counting the bodies, and now the chopper is coming up to finish it up. So, Logan the marksman, I think he's out of ammo too because he's only down to his handgun. French is shooting. They're firing everything over. They're checking to make sure they don't get shot at by that helicopter. And chopper gun is being turned so it can fire. And yeah, just look at all of these gunshots coming down. Bridges, meanwhile, looks like he's pulled away from that position. And Logan is now serpentining down while popping smoke. Gets a crippling shot to the leg. I will be curious to see what other trick plays Logan plays, because he's got some really good ones, but this is not the match. Oh, I agree. All it takes is one lucky shot, but not today. BLUFOR dismounting here. And now they've got a 5-man team to come up and check this out. French, meanwhile, looking over to see why that chopper sounded a lot louder for a few more seconds than it should have. And now we've got a 1v5. Looking back, we still have Dingo's come around. I don't even know where he came from. But, yeah, again, trying to backcap. Backcap's not going to be able to be done. We're seeing gunshots go down to that 3-man group. French gets a nasty grenade. Alexander pushes up. Another grenade gets popped. Multiple grenades get popped right in their line. Alexander pulling his handgun out, literally mag dumping the back of French. And Goran gets some shots, and this guy was shooting handguns at him. Logan's coming around. I don't even know how to commentate that. That was everywhere, but Logan is now trying to come around with his handgun. Will the independent marksman make a trick play like BLUFOR's marksman? Stakes are high. Logan is Logan. And we'll see if he can do better than Rek and get more than 3 kills. A grenade throw would be perfect right now. Possibly knocking out Goran, who is the medic. But Logan only has a handgun. I don't see any automatic rifles here. There is some AT, but oh, man, we'll see what happens. All right, Logan, come on. You got a helicopter flying right above you, and they probably have LR. This guy now running over, doesn't spot Logan, gets shot in the head and knocked out. Grenade gets thrown right on Goran's position, right in his face, knocks him unconscious. Alexander now knows something's up. He is coming around to check out what's going on. Already, both marksmen pulling amazing plays. Logan hiding, doesn't get that, gets the headshot on Alexander. Robertson probably gonna kill Logan here, and there it is. But both marksmen knocking out 3 people. Goran wakes back up, might be able to get that dude up, but wow. Trick plays on the marksman. Oh my god. That was awesome. I would still say Rex is better though, because he got 2 KIAs and the 3rd one bled out. Logan was able to kill 1, knock 2 out. Robertson just got blue on blued by his own guys though, so I mean, these guys, we just saw that they were trigger happy with each other, so, you know, at this range, you should be able to PID, but wow. So, I mean, that's knocked out this 5-man team, so they won't be able to backcap these 3 dudes. It's going to be a little bit in vain. And that one medic that was AFK is finally not AFK, and he's driving around with the UN truck. What the hell is going on? So Grenadier rounds are trying to be walked up to this 3-man position. We still have Dingo right here, chilling in this building, literally just Guns down. He's just, yeah, okay. He's waiting for a back cap that's not gonna come. Looks like we have Alec here who is down. I think what's his face came in and tried to get the place himself, but ran into a bunch of dudes. As soon as he opened that door, they would have heard it turn and took him out, but he got a decent trade-off. I don't think these guys have any medics here, so it'll probably result in an incapacitation, if not KIA. Meanwhile, up here, these guys are medicing a dead body. Jesus Christ. Yes, okay, he's stable. Now let's work on the people that are actually incapacitated. Fun fact, if you look at a body and get an inventory pop-up screen, you know, the 3 dashes with the gun, that means he's KIA. If they have their hands down like this, you know, these 120-degree angles and their gun pointed outward, that means they're most likely unconscious, but you still gotta look to check to make sure he's not dead itself. But, okay, awesome. So these guys, UN Vic tried to push up, and the US decided that they've had enough with the UN and literally shot him dead. What a Chad move by the AFK medic. He waits around for 25 minutes, decides, hey, now's a good time to play, drives up to a BLUFOR ridgeline and gets shot to shit. Meanwhile, Platoon HQ has come around, but Nelson knows it, pops a grenade on their position, gets a double kill, knocks out Denny's legs, and that's GG. That is GG right there. Beautiful play by Nelson, taking out those 3 guys, and we still have Dingo alive, but Dingo's not going to get the hint. Timer has now gone off, 15 minutes remaining. He's getting the double taps, there he goes, and wow. Just wow. Beautiful triple kill by Nelson, too. We saw, I think, 4 different triple kills here. Both by the marksman, one by Nelson, and then one by an independent guy who got these 2 kills and got a kill up here and then died. There's his body. That's how I feel for Independent for this op today. That's a very good way to put it. That right there is how Independent's done in the operation. But guys, we are going to have 2 more rounds for EU's branch starting right after this one ends. I might go AFK for a few minutes to make myself a burger because I haven't eaten all day because I've been stressed about the CCO thing I have to do tomorrow. And then we'll have like an hour-long break, and then we'll get into North America's branch of Friday Night Fight at 8 p.m. EST. Yeah, there's my thumbnail, right? Ice, yes, I will hook you up and we can do some commentary. I'll give you the casting couch password. Give him a warm welcome, shall we? I'll have to be AFK for a little longer because Iceberg's gotta work his way into the casting couch. Wink. Mine was weird though because Barbarian was it, but he's more of a power bottom. Anyway. So they left Robinson. So overall, Logan was able to kill 3 dudes still, right? No, he was able to get 2 kills because Robinson's gonna bleed out. So not necessarily a triple kill, but definitely caught, like for 1 guy against 5, that was pretty much it. As much as we trust Dingo, this is a BLUFOR victory. There's no way in hell Dingo would be able to do this. I agree with that call. They're not going to make us wait another 12 minutes to see Dingo get shot to shit. But, yeah, alright. Alright. Alright, there is the round drawn right there. And we'll see what happens in the next round. I might just keep the burger for... because I gotta get Iceberg sorted. We'll, I'll just wait till after the, other 2 rounds end. It is gonna be a 3-way fight, so about 20 players on each team, about 21, neutral sector control, and I don't see any assets.